Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Soul, Light, and Body. It's such a pleasure to be here because we get to share so many topics every week with you, beautiful people. And every week, we're able to bring on these special guests so they can give you a deeper insight about these topics. And this morning, we got such a beautiful topic: healing the relationship with money for greater abundance. We all could relate to that. Healing our relationship with money. How do you really feel about money? You know, and Andrea is here this morning and she will really help us to understand how she will walk us through these different steps that we should really take to start to heal that relationship that we have with money. Because many times we run into this hole or in a box and we're telling ourselves we don't have enough money and how can we get more money in our life, and the relationship and the money is not there at all. So Andrea will help us this morning to really understand that aspect, the financial aspect about our lives. And speaking about finances, that's one of our 12 components that myself and Joan normally coach out of. So what we are trying to do is that each one of these components, we're trying to bring someone who could really dive deep into these components, because finances is one of the 12 components that we coach out of. So Andrea is gonna she's here this morning and she's gonna dive us deep into those waters of finances and money and the relationship we should really have with our money. And I hope you continue to do your journaling because it gives you the insight who you are, who you were, and who you're gonna be. So when you journal all these points, you're able to reflect back on it, sit in your quiet moment, and see where you need to work on yourself so you could live a life of abundance. Also, are you taking the time to show gratitude? It is so important that we take the time to show gratitude. How are you feeling today? What are some of the things that you're telling yourself when you stand in front of that mirror? What are some of the things that you're telling yourself? Are they nice things or are they not so nice things? You really got to start to go within yourself and start to reprogram those thoughts. If the things that you're telling yourself is not nice, you gotta reprogram. Normally we have to reprogram a computer. If it's not working good, we gotta change the hard drive sometimes. That's us. If things are not working the way how we want it to go, we gotta change the hard drive. And we gotta reprogram it so it could work efficiently and effectively. So once we change those thoughts, things gonna start working efficiently. We're gonna start to see our external start to change. Things is gonna start to fall into place. So let's start working on that. If things are not going right in your life at this point in time, let's check in. It's a point of checking in,
Mm.
seeing what's not going right, and just start to, if you want to use modalities like affirmations, your meditation, whatever modalities you're going to choose to check in with yourself, use it to enhance yourself so you can achieve the greatness that you're looking for in your life. It is super important. Don't just sit there and say, you know what, I'm going to give up. No, you cannot give up on yourself. You have to start to work on yourself. If you can't do it by yourself, grab a coach. Reach out and grab a coach who could help you and help you to discover the things and the hidden gems that is within yourself. So reach out, grab a coach, have a discussion with a coach, and start to make that shift with your life. Because we all go through challenges. We all. And the challenges are good because the challenges help us to grow and it helps us to evolve. Also, the challenges give us gems that we could use in future experiences or situations to able to help ourselves to shift ourselves forward in life. So look at your challenges as gems. Take the tools you need from it, put it in your toolbox. So you could continue to move along life with that toolbox full of gems, full of tools that you could work along your life path. It's so beautiful to be here this morning. And we
Oh,
just
it's
want to welcome,
wonderful.
yes, we
I
want to
love your
welcome.
energy, Karen. I have to
Thank
say that you have such an amazing commitment, and I just
thank
admire
you.
that a lot. Thank
Thank
you
you so
for
much, Pascal.
starting us off so beautifully
Yes,
this morning.
thank you. Thank you. I am Karen Pascal, holistic health and wellness coach, and a co-author of two ebooks with my sister, Joan Williams. And if you have not signed up yet for this magazine, please go in the comments below and sign up because it's a beautiful magazine, digital and the hard copy you could have on your nightstand. Go in the comments below and you will find the subscription link and you can subscribe and you will receive this magazine. And I'll now hand you over to my sister, Joan Williams. Joan, take the mic.
Thank you. Good intro, guys, and
Thank you.
good morning to everyone. How are you doing today? Happy Monday, and it's a special day because it's right special. It's the beginning of a new week, and you're here. You're here today.
Yes.
A fresh start is a fresh start. Is a fresh way how you can look at your goals, look at your intentions, and what you got to tweak or you got to make some adjustment. You have the opportunity to do that because this is your life. This is you. This is who you are.
Yes.
As I always say on Soul Light and Body, is that when you set your intentions, set it with clarity. You have to be clear. You have to be clear in which direction you're moving yourself forward and what you're moving yourself into. And then when you set that clear your intentions, then move with a level of confidence. Be confident enough to know this is what I want. This is the area I'm moving towards. So once you move in a level of clarity, you know the direction you want, then reposition yourself. And reposition yourself so that you can in a position and a mode to receive what is it you're looking for. Be assertive. What are the things you're telling yourself? Are you reminding yourself that, yes, you're special, you're unique, you're one of a kind, and you're worthy? Try to get to the space of worthiness. Move in the space of worthiness that you're worthy, you're well deserving. And are you showing yourself love and compassion? That's so essential. Love on yourself. It's you. Love yourself. Love yourself from the inside out. And what is it you're holding on to? Because sometimes we all have difficult times in holding on to things. What are you holding on to and you're not letting go and freeing space up that is hindering you from moving to your next step, moving to your next intention, moving into the space that you want to be? What is keeping you back? Whatever is it that's not serving you well, let it go. It's okay. And also honor your steps. Everything that you have achieved, you're working on a project, when you accomplish one task, because remember you're building. You're building and every day is a
Mhm.
work in progress. So you want to celebrate, you want to stop, you want to pause, you want to soak that moment in. That hey, oh my goodness, I'm here. I couldn't even believe I got through with this. Yes. Pause, soak it in. Enjoy what the moment feels like. Because you're never going to move back there again because you're moving forward. So stop. There is power in pause.
Yes.
Stop, pause, soak it in. Feel what it feels like. Feel all that emotion. Because remember, you worked to this point and you got it. Soak it in. Feel what it feels like and celebrate it.
Hmm.
And you got to remember, you're working towards greatness.
Yes.
Every day you're working towards greatness. I want to talk to caregivers this morning. We know it's a challenging job for you and you're
Hmm.
a big job. Hang on, dear. But remember, take a little time for yourself. Step out in nature, breathe, practice some modalities a few times a day so that you can stay grounded. This is a tough job. You give of yourself all the time. So remember to nourish yourself, practice your self care, stay hydrated, and go within and work on that too. So you can continue to function in the capacity of who you are. We all love you. Thank you all for helping me celebrate my birthday. I love all of you, and I'm sending love back to all of you. Whatever area you need in healing, whatever you're looking for today, I am wishing you well in that area, with a job,
Yes.
healing, whatever it is that your little heart so desire. I'm sending you all love and universe. Yeah, the universe is there to support you. My name is Joan Williams, holistic health and wellness coach, and also co-author with the two ebooks. But I want to say thanks to all of you who are sending great reviews. We had a beautiful picture which we're going to post today with Angelica Ingram, and she received a magazine. And what she did, she made one of the recipes. How beautiful is that?
Yeah, yeah.
So if you're finding that you're making recipe, now post it. Let's know that hi, this is Start Healthy Magazine recipes from Joan, and I just want to show you this is what I made. Get creative, have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be so serious with life. Let's have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
Create some pockets of joy during the day. Live life. Yes, of course, we're going to move through challenges because that's what life is. How we move through it,
True.
how we move through that is so important. And how do we bounce back from adversity? Do we stay there? Do we stay stuck? Or we choose to decide to move forward with a new sense of purpose and create an impact for the world? That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, today we have such a beautiful guest. Very amazing, interesting topic because money is something each one of us have to deal with on different levels. And are we suffering from scarcity? Are we thinking scarcity or lack?
True.
But Ray is here to show us how we can have a great relationship with money and move in a level of abundance and heal that aspect of lack within us. So, Andre, welcome. Thank you for taking the time to be here and share the space with us for this hour. Welcome.
Oh, thank you, ladies. Thank you so much for having me here today, and thank you so much for the work you're doing. I know it's highly appreciated and it's impacting a lot of people. So thank you for doing it. And I'm especially really grateful that you've invited me to speak with you on this interview because I know that money is a large issue for many of us. And this is the reason, number one, why I actually decided to become a money mastery coach, very specifically on money, and not be just like a life coach. Or, well, it was a journey, right? I developed from a success coach into that, what I'm doing today. But I've decided, like, hey, there are lots of people I know myself, either from coaching or even in my circles, my family and friends, who are not happy about money. They don't have a freedom-based relationship around money. Most of people, when I talk to them, they might think though they have a good relationship with money, or it's kind of okay. It's okay. I'm good with money. I don't have major issues, right? But imagine if you were in a relationship with someone who you would constantly be worried at the end of the month if they're going to show up, if they're going to be supporting you, because you cannot rely completely, like 100% on them being there. Or, when I used to talk to especially women in corporate jobs, and they told me, well, I'm very happy with money, with my salary, and I think I have a good relationship with money, and yet they couldn't, or felt like they are not allowed to pursue their dreams in life, their passions, because who would pay the bills? They didn't believe that their passion would make enough money, right? and then there is no freedom really. So it's just a perceived freedom, but without a job, without a steady salary, which literally makes us enslaved so many times. Well, I wouldn't call that freedom, right? But of course, there's a journey for everyone to develop themselves, to realize where they are, where they want to go, and like what is it that they truly desire in life. So that is my number one reason why I'm doing this work. And it can be triggering for some people as well. I do understand that. Some people might go like, well, I don't want to even be talking about money, or I don't want to be talking about those things because it just creates so much anxiety and worries for people. And sometimes it's just easier for us to just go as it is with the things as they are right now and not to be steering the waters too much. So I do understand that. It's not for everyone, but for those who are ready to start healing their relationship with money, this is a great starting point to know that the relationship is really multifaceted. It's not the
Right.
simplest of relationships. It might be one of the most difficult relationships you will be working on, but it's also very rewarding once you start unlocking those little pieces. It's not a straightforward process, absolutely not. You know, in the programs I'm coaching my clients, we are tackling healing relationship from all possible angles, and healing the rejection wound, for example, healing the masculine, healing the feminine wound as well. It's like so many things are contributing to our relationship with money. Because if you imagine, money is not really a person, so we don't have a relationship per se. So every other relationship in our life, whether it's with our parents, maybe with our loved ones and partners, and later on in our lives, you know, like with husbands and wives and loved ones, basically, we are mirroring those kind of relationships onto money. We do. We are perceiving money sometimes, or almost always, as a real person, even though it's not a person. And we would even use language such as, well, you know, money is the root of all evil. If I'm using kind of like the the most known,
Yeah.
right? We talk about money as it is, as if it was a person, as it has a character, or as it had a will. So money wants this, money wants that. And that's why there is a relationship with money, and that needs to be healed from the root cause. Um, it is a process, as I mentioned, but what anyone can start doing basically is just asking myself, right? Like, if money was a person, let's imagine there is this person called Jack, for example, or you can name them, you know, Becky, if you like that better, and ask yourself, if this was a real person in my life, how would our relationship be? Would that be a friend? Or will that be kind of an acquaintance of mine? Or will that be someone I'm actually avoiding?
Mhm.
Because I don't know how they're gonna react, how they're gonna, you know, like what would our relationship be? But also what are my feelings towards that person? Am
Mhm.
I only expecting them to drop in once a month because then it's the day when my salary is coming in? And the rest of the month, I'm kind of worried and anxious. Are they gonna come in? Are they gonna kind of like, am I gonna get a big bill? So they're gonna leave me. They will not stay around.
Mhm.
That creates lots of anxieties, and the relationship is not free. That kind of person maybe would not even want to be hanging around me because, you know, I might be so anxious lots of times. I might be too attached onto them. We've probably all been in relationships when we realize, well, attachments are not working really. And what we want to bring more of is definitely more of freedom. Do you ladies have any questions about that, or shall I just kind of like?
Listen, first of all, thank you for saying yes to being here because this is such an interesting topic. And I like how you explain the first part where you introduce us and you're helping us to look at money from a different point and having that relationship and having that, and because it's energy too, isn't it?
Absolutely, it is.
So with that level of relationship, and you took us into an example of a person. Think about a relationship that you would like to have with your loved one, your husband, your fiance, friend, whoever the person is. But look at it from that standpoint as a relationship, because it is. So however you feel about it, that's how it's going to happen, because that's the energy you put in towards it. So thank you so much for explaining that and give us a clear vision how we should look at money from today forward.
Yeah.
And sorry, I'm just jumping into that because it even goes even deeper than that. We might be understanding, okay, so having a good relationship with money is important. Probably we are all aware of that. And what we are not aware, however, so many times is that the relationship is is really kind of tinted with our experiences from our childhood, from all
True.
of our
True.
past,
True.
Mhm.
right?
That's true.
And we are so many times not even aware what kind of damage has happened in that relationship already. So I just give you one example. For example, when I started digging into my experiences with money and all of that, I realized actually that the belief which I'm carrying with me throughout my entire adulthood is actually that I don't want money, which is silly little bit, thinking, well, who would not want to have money, right? And it's just a subconscious belief because something has happened in my past. I made it mean for myself that, you know what, money is just, it's just way over trouble. It just like causes this huge havoc in families and whatnot. I don't want money. I don't want to be dealing with money. And now imagine you are a business owner. You are starting your own business or an entrepreneurship, doesn't matter. And then you want to make a living earning money with that subconscious belief, I don't really want money. How much sabotage can that little thought do to your entire business? And then we might be thinking, well, I'm doing all the right things. I'm doing this business strategy and that business strategy. I'm doing, lots of works. But when that subconscious belief is there, the money is not just, it's just not going to be showing up, or not at least at that amount that I wish it was.
Mhm.
So we might be thinking, well, my relationship is fine, my relationship is grand, right? But
Right.
if those underlying beliefs are still there will be sabotaging us for a long time. And it's not only showing in the relationship of money, it's like in the actual money, but if you are a business owner like you ladies are, you're coaches and you work with people, it also is showing up in the amount of people who are attracted to the work you do,
Mhm.
right? For every entrepreneur, like clients is the blood in the business, right? So we need to
Mhm.
have clients. And if money beliefs are, somehow tied to our wordiness, which is kind of like the major rejection wound, it is connected to wordiness. And money is kind of like the ultimate wordiness tool, I would say. We measure everything, right? How much it is it expensive, is not, is worth, it's not worth, it's kind of like money. And then we are actually either attracting that into our business in number of clients, or we might not, because the clients are just not being attracted to the work we do. And it's not that we doing, I don't know, something wrong in the business, or there is not enough strategy in the business, but simply the energy is not there. And it's literally repelling those clients.
True.
I can tell you from my own experience, when I broke through some of those limiting beliefs, I had, for example, in my business, a certain number of clients was four at at the same time, and I couldn't break through that number. At every time in my business, I didn't have more than four clients. It was somehow always repeating the same. So
Mhm.
when I only started, transforming some of the beliefs, I saw, the numbers were going up, and it's not because I started doing something different on my business strategy or in marketing or anything else. It was just the energy. And of course, some blocks were released from that.
Yeah.
So, you know, it is important to heal that relationship. And many of us might have seen, law of attraction, manifesting practices, and all those beautiful things. And I'm a huge fan of all of those, right? Really huge fan. But also, I know that it's not working for everyone. And it was not working for me in terms of business either. I have to, full disclosure here. Because it was not working for me because of some fundamental beliefs and because of the relationship I needed to heal first in order to see it actually working. Law of attraction, manifestation works, absolutely works, right? But if we don't see the results we want, that means that there's still something
Yes.
underneath in the subconscious, and it requires our attention. And so a little bit deeper, deeper digging in that.
Right. Yeah. So if I could say, it all has to do with alignment. Your subconscious, what you're trying to attract, all has to align to bring that into you. Is that right?
Yes, that's the idea of manifesting and basically law of attraction. But I have to tell you, Joan, that's the reason why I'm not calling myself maybe manifestation coach or anything like that, because I truly believe we are manifestors all the time. We
Yes.
are it. It's like, for me, it's the same as if I was calling myself I'm a human being. It's just kind of given. And manifesting is something we do all the time on autopilot. We don't have to be thinking about that. It's like breathing air. So for me, manifesting is like breathing air, right? But the difference is whether we are manifesting something we want or manifesting something we don't want.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
so
That
true.
that's the difference. And so the way how I view clients, my audience, everyone, how I get in touch with, I basically see as master manifester already. You are a master manifester, or there's no doubt. And this is the way how I'm treating my clients as well, by saying, well, there's nothing wrong with what you're doing, when they sometimes complain about what am I doing wrong? Like I'm not getting the result. And I'm like, you're not doing anything wrong. It's just some of the fundamental beliefs need to be transmuted. It's literally transmuted back into love. And this is kind of the second pillar of my entire coaching. So the first part would be the healing part. And the
Mhm.
second part, it is creation. It is absolutely creation. But one without the other doesn't go, because if I'm creating something from, I love the example of building or creating a cake from a mud. If I'm creating a mud cake, if my kind of basis is not correct or set up properly, this is what
Mhm.
I'm getting, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so I see many people going into manifesting and all of that, and it's not working for them. They say it's not working and they don't see the results. So this is really where the work on healing the relationship with money needs to come in. And then we can move on into creating something on top of it. Yet these are not two separate things. They both together, and we're literally blending them together, because once we kind of move into the creation part, when we want to create what we want, more money, more abundance, then still some of the things, some of the unworkable beliefs can come up, and we still need to do the healing work, right? So
Yes.
it's not one without the other. It's all together, blended magnificently. And the beauty of the work is basically that you are already enough. Like right now, right in this moment, there's nothing wrong with anyone. There's nothing to be fixed or changed or. We always think of ourselves like not adequate, like I need to learn something, I need to change myself. That's the reason why I'm not getting what I want, all of those things. And whereas this is not even required. Yes, we want to be kind of like changing some of the beliefs because they are not working for us right now. But if you imagine, even that belief was working at some point, probably for you in the past.
Mhm.
So, literally, there's nothing going on which would be wrong or unwanted. It's just how we work with that.
Right.
Yes. So true. You're absolutely right, Andrea. And my question to you now is culture, religion, and gender, family, upbringing, and education all play an important role how we really relate to money?
Oh yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's just the basics which we gotten, which we received from our families, from the culture where we were raised. I was raised in times of communism, for example, in a country called Czechoslovakia, and that had a massive impact on my beliefs, on the imprints I received in my childhood. And but we all got them, right? And it doesn't matter whether that this was like green or this was pink or it was whatever. It's just kind of different shades, I would say, right? What we want to be doing with those, however, is realizing and getting the awareness that this is just an opinion, that is just a maybe a prevailing opinion, strong opinion in the society, but it doesn't have to be the truth necessarily. And this is actually where we move into the fifth dimension. Fifth dimension is something which is called, well, it's just called fifth dimension, but it's a state of being. It's a state of
Yeah,
beingness where you realizing that all you are is basically love. All there is love, and there's nothing else. And for us to get there actually into that fifth dimension, we just have to let go of all the judgment, whether it's judgment of ourselves, because we tend to hold a lot of judgment towards ourselves as well, judgment against others, our families, friends, even in general people, or judgment against money. We might be holding on to so much judgment against maybe wealthy people as well,
true.
maybe judgment against business people, how they look like, what they do, how they behave, how they shouldn't behave. All those things, they are related to money. If we're holding them, even with the best intention, not wanting to hurt anyone, but still believing those things which we gotten from the society or family or friends or whoever, or even in school, right? We were taught so many things. If we cannot let them go, we are not free to be creating from love. We are not free to create the true abundance which we want with money. I know I'm kind of like going far away now
Yeah,
from
yeah,
healing the relationship,
yeah.
but
It's
it
all
kind of
good.
all relates together, right? We cannot be talking about one without the other because it's all together on this. Yeah.
Mhm.
What role our mindset play into all of this? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, mindset is absolutely important. But I would say mindset is only one of the steps.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe some of the audience can relate to that, because my journey was absolutely through mindset, first changing mindset. And then I came to a point where I realized, well, it's just a step which leads to something else and leads to something more. So if you're someone who is doing a lot of mindset work, brilliant. It's all amazing. It's all helping. It's doing something really, really great. Yet I would add that there are more steps afterwards, but it's like we are all in a different journey, right? Like we have all our own journey. So maybe somebody is following the mindset journey only, and it's seeing great progress and it's helping, and all of those things. And for some people they might not be enough, they might be wanting more. And mindset, for me at least, it was something which was not complete without the embodiment in the body. And when I say embodiment, what I mean is the emotions and feelings and connecting it to a heart. Because mindset happens mostly in the head, not for everyone. There's no clear definition for mindset, right? For somebody, it might mean, oh, but I'm like working on myself, right? And that might mean also connecting the emotions. For me, it was a little bit disconnected. So I had to take the next step, going into embodiment, connecting mind with the soul, and actually seeing the soul as the leading portal into the creation, rather than only and solely relying on mindset. But I have to say, I'm a huge fan of mindset. I started off with mindset work, it helped me greatly. And yet, there was a time where I had to shift even the work which I do with my clients to more embodiment work, and basically more relying on myself, where
Wow.
you just start relying on what is truth for you right now. What is the
Right.
Mhm,
truth? And then believing in this, and then knowing that this is enough. And then knowing that I'm creating from that absolute knowing that anything and everything is possible, and it's already done for me. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to change myself. I don't have to, get another degree. All those things are beautiful, but we mostly do them from a distorted need. It's kind of like, I believe I will get a better job, so that's why I'm going to study at a university. It's just one of the examples.
mhm.
Thank you. Karen.
Right. Yeah. Excuse me, listening to you and you're explaining to us about money and the relationship and the mindset that we all should have when we are really thinking about money. And if we have children, right, in a home, we should really sit with our children and help them to understand and to have a relationship with money. Because we now, as adults, we now really understand how we should really operate and deal with money. So I think that
Mm,
if we have kids in a home, we should sit, like somebody said, I saw in the comments, sit as a family and have discussions around money. So as the youths are coming up now, they could able to have a relationship with money in the future because they learn it from home as a foundation. So they can
mhm.
move forward in life understanding about money. We wish if we had that at
Right.
that small tender age, being nourished with that. So now we would have understand. Now only now we're really getting to the bottom to understand the relationship with money, because many people come from different cultures, right? As you said, different cultures, religion, family background, your childhood growing up. So if we could start with it from the home as a child growing up, and if we can infuse that child how to really have relationship with money and look at them growing as an adult, that would be so fabulous, right? Am I correct?
This is so amazing you mentioning that, because I have a 2-year-old at home as well. And like children are so they're literally like a sponge, right? Like they absorb all the kind of
Yeah.
behaviors, the moods. Like they just repeat immediately everything after what they see doing us. So I would say, children are picking up
Mm-hmm.
all those things like 24/7 almost. And I'm not saying that to scare off anyone, like now be worried what your child sees you doing, but it's more kind of like they will watch you. They
Yeah.
will,
Yeah.
notice how you manage, like how you behave around money, what you're saying about money to
Yeah.
others, even if it's just kind of like an innocent comment to a friend, right? Like, ah, like I can't afford this because it's the end of the month or something. A very innocent comment to a friend might leave an imprint in that child already that, there are things we cannot afford. Or in general, there will be things in my life which I cannot afford because this is what I saw my parents do, right? Well, now
Yeah.
it's not just like one little comment, but children are with us 24/7 almost, like
Yes.
always picking up. So if we have a pattern, for example, of always complaining to our friends that we don't have enough money or that we should get paid more, they will pick up that certain pattern as well in their life. And they will pick up the energy as well.
Yes.
Even though they might not completely understand the words, or we might think, well, they don't understand because it's
Right.
finances or it's, very kind of complex issues. They will pick up the energy. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what's gonna stay with them. So what I would say, having conversations with children, absolutely, when you know that they are ready to have certain conversations and they're able to understand, absolutely yes. But there is also other times where they're picking up patterns already for their life, which is even more important because this is happening like on autopilot and continuously. Now, I'm really not saying that to alarm anyone, like, oh my God, what did like, I have to control myself. It's basically, again, the need to help ourselves first to heal my relationship with money. So I know what I'm giving to my children as well. Because if my relationship is good and healed and on many levels is already workable, this is probably what my children will inherit from me very naturally just by being around, just by picking up those things. And having conversations, absolutely. Like it is just absolutely encouraged, creates the bond, creates um, the trust because children know, when you trust them with talking with them about different difficult topics and important topics,
Mm-hmm.
they just get that. They just get it is important and they want to be involved. They don't want to be like shushed away like, oh, this is not for you because
Yes.
you're too young for this.
Mm-hmm.
Another listening to you, another thing that just came to mind is that I remember with my daughter sending her to school, and I would always give her a pocket change, and I always say to her that your pocket change, you're gonna save something out from this pocket change. So she grew up with this mentality that when money is given to her, she always take out some from that money and put it up. So whatever, excuse me, whatever you impart in a child at a very young age, that is exactly how they're gonna grow up. Because we're
Yeah.
talking about money. So if you have a young child at home and let's say you're sending them to school in my situation, and if you're doing that too, you're sending your child to school and you're giving them a pocket change, teach them to start saving. So when they get to an adulthood, they will understand that whatever money, they must save something out from that. Am I correct?
Well, it really truly depends. how you want to keep the balance,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that might be for everyone a little bit different. There's no set of rules how to, impart this knowledge on our children or anything like that. But what I would say is just really check with yourself where's the balance for you, what you want to give to your children, right?
Right.
And it might be different for everyone, but also just know that the child will decide for themselves what they want to kind of take on, what they don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
And you would be surprised, like what they will remember, or what kind of like
Yeah.
bits and pieces of the knowledge they will take. You might mention that once and they will take it forever with them, right? But I would say, like, really just be happy that what you are giving them is balanced with you, not because
Yeah.
somebody else is saying do that,
Mhm.
do this, don't, all those things, but because this is what you think is the right approach for your
To
child
do. Yeah.
to do. There might be
Mhm.
another mother sitting next to you saying, oh my God, you're doing this with your child, right? I'm doing completely
Yes.
something else. But
Yeah.
because they believe this is the right thing for them and
Mhm.
their child,
Mhm.
they are doing the right thing because this is what they believe, right? So
Mhm.
we kind of like all hold those kind of beliefs for ourselves. And I would
Mhm.
say, if you are doing something which you believe, you can't go wrong with that. You
Right.
True.
can't.
True.
Right.
True.
Yeah. What somehow when we kind of like lose the connection with ourselves is mainly
Mhm.
when we start listening to all these kind of advice out there from
Mhm.
other people, and then we get confused. Like, so what now? What shall I be doing now? This
Right.
expert is saying
Mhm.
this expert is saying that. It might be all
Mhm.
valid and great recommendations, but check with yourself. Where's the balance?
Mhm.
Where's the balance? Like, we all are growing up a little bit. We are maturing in all the areas day by day ourselves as well. And for example, me as a new mother, I just wanted to give my child everything,
Mhm.
everything under the sun. And then I realized, well, there has to be some kind of boundaries for this child,
Yeah.
because otherwise she'll be entitled. And I
Right.
had to kind of like start in reinforcing those kind of like limitations, if you like.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
now what am I going to do? Now on one side, I'm teaching everyone there are no limits. Energy is everything, but to this little child with her awareness right now and her capacity to
Mhm.
understand things, there has to be certain boundaries set because
Yeah.
it's healthy for her. And this is where everyone, I think, needs to find the balance for themselves.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Because each one is by individuality. I want to shift up gears a little bit and talk to us about, because we're talking about relationship with money and moving into the space of abundance. Now, let's say someone receive a large amount of a large check or whatever. Is there something we should be saying in that moment with that level of energy? What do we say? Just take us there.
Mhm.
We're talking about abundance and we're thinking about, let's say, a large sum of money, you get your
Mm.
inheritance, whatever it is, or you have a promotion which would increase your wages or whatever. Talk to us. What should we be saying in that moment?
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you, John. What would you be saying at that moment?
No, because okay, we have all this money and this coming to us. Should we saying that? I mean, we practice gratitude that we say, and we asking for a continuation because we always now be moving in the season of abundance. We want it to keep moving. So give us that level of mindset, not only for that moment, but how do we continue having that flowing in our area?
So I would say it this way. There's so much more knowledge in each of us already, way more than we actually acknowledge ourselves, right? And I would say in every moment we know what to do.
Mhm.
We are
Mhm.
guided. We are absolutely master manifestors. We have the knowledge, we have the access, we are connected, we have the
Mhm.
information, right? So I would say, rather than saying something which some other person is saying, or my words, and I could give you words which I'm saying, right? And it might not be working for you or for maybe someone else because it's just going to be reciting those words.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, I would say tap into the energy of that
Right.
money, of that abundance
Mm-hmm.
which you have right now. When you're experiencing it, when you're in it right now, you know how it feels. You feel it. And rather than putting words onto it, maybe I would say, okay, so what is the feeling for you? How can you remember that feeling? And maybe the words would be different, which you would be saying, to the words which I would be saying, for example. And it's
Right.
not because it's different, so much difference. It's just because our perception is different.
Right.
Yeah.
And I would say focus on the attunement into the emotion,
Mm-hmm.
because just saying, oh, I am happy might not be adequate in that moment. I'm so thrilled. Maybe it's, I'm so satisfied. Just lately, really, this amazing kind of breakthrough came to me because I love the word satisfied and satisfaction. And I'm going to give you an example what I mean by that, right? Because again, it's just a word,
Right.
and that will create something in you when you hear the word satisfaction. You go into a state of sorts, right? You feel it in your body, that satisfaction. So now I just want to make sure that we are kind of on the same page here. So imagine when you are hungry. Imagine you haven't eaten for the entire day
Right.
and now you're looking forward to have a
Mm-hmm.
delicious meal at the end of the day. Maybe you're sitting in a restaurant, your favorite restaurant. You order the meal, you know it's coming, and you're kind of like dripping saliva because it's coming. It's coming. It's
Yeah.
coming. I know. And it's so much of an expectation there. There's this kind of like already, this excitement. And now imagine that you had your meal, you've eaten, you're really full, you're very satisfied because your belly is full. And if somebody kind of like showed you the exact meal or even a better meal, you would go like, oh no, I can't take anymore. I'm just so full. But you are full with satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
There's this, can you see the difference? Can you feel the difference between having the expectation and then feeling the satisfaction of it already? It's a different emotion. There
Mm-hmm.
is different energy. And
Right.
so I would say, even when you're trying to bring in more money, more abundance into your life, rather than going excited that it's coming and being on this side of things, like still expecting it to happen,
Mm-hmm.
move emotionally into the place where you already you've eaten up your meal, so you have
Yeah.
that, you feel the satisfaction, the saturation with all that you wanted, and it's already
Right.
yours.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And if you
Mm-hmm.
can move here
Mhm.
and be here in this kind of state of being, it doesn't have to be 24/7, doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have to be even like, oh, every morning or every evening. But whenever you're thinking of, I want that amount of money, or I want the abundance to keep flowing and all sorts of things, rather than words, which are very, supportive if we use them, there's no doubt, but try to find the emotion, that satisfaction of, I'm already having it. I've I've had that. I already had that money. There's no question. There is like no doubt because I already had that.
Right.
So what it creates is actually closes the gap, emotional gap between like coming from lack and wanting more and craving and desiring,
Mm-hmm.
going into, yeah, it's just natural. I already had that. What am I going to create more? What's next?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Does it
Mm-hmm.
make sense?
That's
A
beautiful.
lot of sense.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Wow.
Yes, a lot of sense.
You can able
Awesome.
to differentiate. And I like how you took us through the meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think this is very tasty
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
kind of like it's not a perfect analogy, of course, because maybe we wouldn't say no, thank you to more money, right? But it gives you the idea where you want to be when you thinking
Right.
about
Yeah.
money, where you want to be when you creating that relationship with money, like you're not coming from the needs, you're not coming from the lack, right?
Yeah.
So just imagine, just another example, like how do you feel about something that you already have in your life?
Right.
As
Yes.
in, I don't know, you maybe have already your dream car, or you maybe kind of like just a simple thing. Maybe you have already your favorite purse, which you
Mm-hmm.
gifted to yourself, or just a simple phone. You already have your phone. How do you feel about that thing?
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. I mean, it's just a phone. I have that, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
almost like not a big deal anymore because I have that.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
I didn't, maybe there were times in my life where I didn't have that phone. I was kind of like a dream.
Right.
Still, the energy is different. So
Yes.
when you're thinking of something that you want to bring into your life, you don't have that yet, creating that emotion of having it will bring that satisfaction,
Yes.
will literally make it not such a big deal. So many times we're actually putting money on a pedestal and we think, oh my God, if I only had that money, if I only had that income, or. And we kind of, we're not seeing money as equal to us. We're seeing it as something above, as something like a statue, and it's far away and it's unreachable. That's not the energy we want to be in because it's not going to bring it closer. If anything, it's just going to push it away, it's going to repel it. So let's put money as equal to myself, to all my other needs or wants or desires, and then literally feeling like, oh, I have that already.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow.
That's great that that you explained that in depth to help us to understand the deep meaning of relationship with money, because many times we look, as you said in the opening, that we look at money on a different level, but we need to look at money on the level of connecting to it, and how we going to connect to the money. What are the modalities we're going to use to connect ourselves to this energy, and going within ourselves and healing that aspect to connect ourselves with money. It really helps us to move forward with clarity, understanding how we can have that relationship with money. Should we use like visual reminders to help us to stay in that lane?
Oh, absolutely. If that's something which is already working for you and you know you're enjoying that, absolutely, by all means. Why not? Anything that will help. Visualizations, meditations, like I love all of those, modalities. They are doing a great job, but we need to understand what we're doing.
Yes.
And I'm just going to touch on something because so many people might be also viewing money as not something up there, but as something like, oh, it's not important. Like we some of us like to downplay the importance of money because we saw how much bad that can be done with money in the world and rich people, all those kind of things, right? And so this is not a liberated relationship either, right? Like some people would say, oh, but all great things in life should be for free. Or I rather have, I rather help people than get paid. some of the entrepreneurs, we can hear that as well. But if you think about that, why money should be kind of left out of the good stuff as well? Money is just energy like everything else. Why wanting money should be greedy or considered, people who want money to be greedy people?
Yeah.
Why wanting love is something more nobler than wanting money? It's the same thing. Money is energy. Energy is love. There
Right.
is only love. Money is
Yes.
love.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
neither above, like some kind of god. We should be like doing headstands to get it. Neither downplaying its importance, like, oh, I don't need money. I don't need to be paid. I can do work for free. But then like, you know no, it's the importance of having that undistorted relationship with money, which will really bring the clarity. And there's so much around money, we
Yeah.
picked up on through our lives. So yeah, it's a journey for everyone, but it's also a very individual journey, because my
Yes.
journey will look completely different than yours. For example, you picked different,
Absolutely.
beliefs. There might be different beliefs already inside. And like, that's why sometimes reciting affirmations or certain formulas might not be the most helpful thing for everyone, because it just doesn't apply exactly to the same person, right? Something
True.
else might apply. That's why I like to come to this from the energetical standpoint, like what's the energy, rather than putting words on it. So feel it. How does it feel? Does it feel good to you to believe this belief? Or
Mhm.
does it feel like, nah, thank you? So
Mhm.
pick a belief, something that resonates with you. But you are the
Yeah.
only judge who can say whether that resonates or it doesn't. Nobody can say that for you, right?
True.
Yeah.
True. True. True.
So our individualities come very strongly into the play. And I would say, this is where the coaching industry needs to little bit help with, or like pick up with the work, not just doing
Mhm.
this blueprints and, putting that on people. It's more working with the individual rather than applying something which might be working for one individual and not working for someone
For the
else.
other. Yeah. That is a very good point you just bring up there, Andrew, because it's not a one size fit all. It's bio individuality, because someone maybe have to go through a healing process for
Mm-hmm.
them to really come to that level with relationship with money, as you said before. So someone may read a book, but it may not apply until they start to do work on themselves,
Yeah.
so they could able to experience that relationship with money.
And that,
Absolutely.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
talk to us. I know our time is ramping down, but talk to us about your masterclass. Talk to us about what's next for you
Yes.
and how people can connect with you. I know it's in the comments as well, but you can reinforce that.
So everyone can find me on Facebook mainly, or on LinkedIn as well, under Andrea Patrick or Money Mastery Coach. I'm on Instagram and YouTube as well. And I love to do, like, I'm always sharing free stuff on my channels. Channeling the consciousness of money. This is something I'm playing with right now because I love that, because always something new comes out of this. And I have a new money mastery program where we actually dive into the healing process of money relationship and creating money from the fifth dimension, in a 5 month coaching experience. And it does take a little bit of time. So that's why it's 5 months, because we are all different. We all apply things differently, and different things might come up at different times. So I want for kind of like everyone who goes through that process to get the most and best out of it in applying that what they learn, because it's not only about gaining new information and having the data collected, but it's also about applying it, seeing how it works for me, seeing how it actually comes out when I apply that. And what I would love to maybe wrap up this interview with is very much on trusting oneself when it comes to learning new things, applying new things, and then even discovering what's best for us, right?
Mhm.
Relying on myself that what I want is good for me, that what
Right.
I'm doing is the best thing for me to do. And
Mhm.
if I want something else, I can change that. And
Yeah.
rather than relying on any kind of external information all the time, I'm not
Mhm.
saying not never, because we can gain really beautiful and useful information as well,
Right.
but also relying on ourselves, on our internal source of that connection and of that information, because there's so much more that we can actually use for our own advantage. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, you have really enlightened us.
Yeah.
Great clarity about the abundance, how we can get to that, the level of energy we create to build our relationship. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for taking the time to being here. And thanks to the audience for being here as well. Those who are catching us now live, and those who will be on the replay. And connect with Andrea, because she's truly amazing and she has great guidance and support us in the area of money.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much for the work you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Andrea, for taking the time and sitting with us and helping us to really understand your relationship with money and for the greater abundance. Because we all need to hear this. We all need to hear this message today. And what a better day to start off the week.
Right.
What a better way to start off the week with this message, so we can able to start that healing process with money. Whatever we came through life with from our childhood, whether it's from your culture or whether it's from your religion, we can able to now sit and really process what you give to us this morning, Andrea, and try to pick out the gems and to start to incorporate it in our lives, so that we could able to move forward with clarity with relationship with money, and how we should really see money moving forward from this point onwards on our journey here. Thank you so much for explaining that for us this morning. And to the audience, thank you so much for your beautiful comments, because we always love to see the comments, so the guests could understand that, you know what, they are listening. Right? So thank you so much for your beautiful comments. Thank you so much for sitting in with us for this 1 hour. And we really appreciate you taking the time also and sitting with us. And I hope that you take away something this morning that Andrea have given to us, that we could work, that you could work with moving forward with your life. Thank you so much for being here. And to Joan, thank you so much. To Tommy, thank you so much for being behind the scenes and helping us to have this fabulous show every day,
Yeah.
every week.
We
Thank
are
you so much.
in this together.
Yes, thank you. Thank you
Mm.
so much. Andrea, thank you so much once again, and have a great week. Thank you.
You too, ladies. Take care.
Yeah.